This conference will now be recorded.
Well, I was Did I? Oh, are you on over there, Pete?
Well, I've got it up, but I haven't hit record here.
Oh, hold on, I wasn't on. Let's see here.
This conference will now be recorded.
There we go. Now we're in. Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody. Oh, I got one. All right, let's try again. Good evening, everybody. It's 7:01. It is Monday, May 16th, 2022. This is a regular meeting for the City Council of Woodland. If I can please ensure that all your cell phones are muted and rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mrs. Anderson, please take the roll.
Councilmember Rounds. Here. Councilmember Chapman.
Here.
Councilmember Holland. Councilmember Smith. Councilmember Rowland. Councilmember Burke.
Here.
Councilmember Dowdy. Here.
All right, Councilmember Smith and Rowland have both called out this evening with personal matters.
Can I make a motion to excuse Councilmember Smith and Councilmember Holden?
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Chapman, second by Councilmember Rounds. Mrs. Anderson.
Councilmember Holland. Aye. Councilmember Chapman.
Aye.
Councilmember Round. Aye. Councilmember Dowdy. Aye. Councilmember Burke.
Aye.
All right. I was having meetings before. I had a chance to come out here and stand up with. There's my guy. What's up? Come on. Come on up here now. I appreciate you being here this evening. Thank you very much. Right here, right here. Thank you. We have two proclamations this evening. The first one is for National Public Works Week. We have our Public Works Superintendent with us this evening to receive this and take it back to the shop for the guys. So, National Public Works Week 2022, whereas the public works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of and understanding an informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as water, sewer, streets, and highways, public buildings, and solid waste collection. And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depends on the facilities and the services, and whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, is vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public works officials. And whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff public works departments is materially influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now, therefore, I, William A. Finn, do hereby recognize the week of May 16th to the 27th, 2022 as National Public Works Week, and I call this observance to the attention of all our citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and to recognize the contributions which public works officials make every day to the health, safety, comfort, and quality of life, dated the 16th day of May, 2022. I had no idea before I became mayor what it takes to run a city, especially the sewer department. I had no idea. So we appreciate and Ms. Coleman, you as well, and please pass along our appreciation to each and every one of your departments. So thank you very much. All right, let's get a little picture with Thank you. Oh, we got one more. Here we go.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Who else is here? No, come on. No, you walked in. Come on, let's go. Right here. Two more people are coming. Okay. It's the buddy system. Don't stand at the door. You have to come up here though. So let's start walking. Start walking. Here we go. Please join me. Please join me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Officer Hollingsworth, how are you? Sergeant Gibbs, good to see you. How are you? Sergeant Keller? Oh, good to see you. Okay, wow. Been working out. What's going on here? All right. Chief, are you going to join us up here or no? Okay. These are boots on the ground. This is an important week. Well, as we discussed this morning during our executive team meeting, that everybody celebrates it on different days. This week this year, for some reason or another, it's all over the board. But this week is our week. So, proclamation for National Police Week 2022. To recognize National Police Week 2022 and to honor the service and sacrifice of those law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our democracy. Whereas there are approximately 900,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Woodland Police Department. And whereas the Woodland Police Department plays an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of all members of the community, and whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of their law enforcement agency, and that members of our law enforcement agency recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the life and property of the innocent and the weak against oppression. And whereas nearly 60,000 assaults against law enforcement officers are reported each year, resulting in approximately 16,000 injuries. And whereas since the first recorded death in 1791, over 24,856 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty. And whereas these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. And whereas 472 new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring, including 153 killed in line of duty and 319 officers killed due to the COVID virus. And whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day, in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half staff. Therefore, be it resolved that I, William A. Finn, Mayor of the City of Woodland, Washington, formally designates May 15th through the 21st, 2022 as Police Week in the City of Woodland and publicly salutes the service of law enforcement officers in our community and communities across the nation. So thank you very much for stepping up and taking on this essential role for not only our community, but also we thank your families for allowing you to do that as well. So thank you. Oh, here we go. We're gonna make our way. Here we go. All right, and
Nobody's showing their teeth. None of you are showing your teeth.
thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you. Have a good night, guys. All right. Where are we? Not on the agenda. Here. Been doing this for 7 years. All right. Next, we have citizen communications for items not on the agenda. First up, we have Shields. Is that you? All right. Please step forward. I'll provide you 5 minutes. Are you both speaking this evening?
You can help me. I don't know.
Okay. I'm assuming.
3 of you know about what
Okay.
it's regarding fences in
Okay.
the City of Woodland and the stipulations specifically for corner lots.
Okay.
You guys, the city, when I applied for a fence, I live on a corner lot and they denied my permit, and it sounds like there was a little bit of confusion. But they referred me to your pamphlet that you have online, and it specifies corner lot versus not corner lot. And it's kind of discriminatory, honestly, to say that a corner lot can't have a fence, a privacy fence. It's got to be 50% visibility and all these different rules for corners versus not corners. And that's why I'm here. I took a bunch of pictures. Anybody that didn't see, these are 50 of my neighbors that all have 6-foot fences, and it doesn't block anyone's vision whatsoever. And this is my house. And the black mark is where my fence would go had it been approved. But it was tonight. To show that I'm nowhere near.
Are you able to leave these photos with us?
Yeah, I don't mean, yeah.
Or-
I took them for you for the point.
I'll put them in the record.
So, you know, and one of the comments that I got that when I was told that I was denied was, I'm, how did he word it? I don't remember how he worded it. I'm free to make complaints about my neighbors. And it's like, no, I'm not going to go make complaints about my neighbors to make a point. You know, it's like, if you guys want to have a problem with my neighbors, then you deal with it. I'm not going to do it. You know, it's not my job to complain about people. But yeah, I mean, there's several things. It decreases your value of your property if you can't have a fence. So you're taking away property value from people. It takes away my security. And my best example is I have a very young granddaughter, and I was told a 3-foot fence. Somebody walking down the street could grab her before I could even get out of the yard and be gone with her with a 3-foot fence. I mean, there's zero security in that. And everybody can see everything. There's no privacy whatsoever. And one of the board members is my neighbor, and she can sit at her front door and look in my back door and see me sitting in my pajamas. You know, if I had a fence, she wouldn't be able to do that. Obviously, looks. I mean, it always looks better to have your crap covered. You know, do my neighbors want to look at my wood piles and stuff? I doubt it. You know. And then again, I started with the general discrimination. I mean, you're picking on people with a corner lot when there's no safety hazard in it whatsoever. The general setbacks are still there. You know, you got your 10 feet, your 20 feet, you're behind your house. I mean, all the same setbacks are there, whether it's corner or not. So you guys are kind of, you need to remove the corner part. So that's why I'm here.
All right, thank you very much. I probably should have stated if you haven't attended, there's no back and forth. So we take your comments into the record. I will tell you though that I have received your email, so thank you for that. And we did discuss this during our executive team meeting with no clear direction yet. But
Well, he came up and said there was a confusion about the 10 foot, 15 feet.
there's
So-
some things that I believe the public works director and the police chief we're going for a drive at some point, or we were looking through the city to see.
Yeah, there's pictures that you can see. Yeah,
So.
it's there.
You don't have to all know that.
It was like 38 feet from where my fence, where I wanted it to be, to the corner. It's 38 feet. I mean, you could fit a semi and a trailer in that. You know, I mean, there's definitely no vision safety issues. Yeah, I also noticed this on the little flyer. Whatever. I mean, it specifically talks about triangular vision clearance area, meaning the corner of your lot. 30 inches, between 30 inches and 10 feet above street grade. Well, you know, that's even on the corner section. That's specified.
All right, thank you very much. 6041 Greenmount Road.
Me.
Okay. I don't have a name.
I'm sorry, my name's Robin Gestring,
Okay.
and I own my home up there. I'm here tonight. Last week we had, as everybody knows, another detour due to the accidents above us on I-5, and the detour goes right down Green Mountain Road, and it was a bad one this time. The detour was long, lengthy, and it got me to writing on Facebook because that's the only outlet I have, and I'm not very good on computers anyway, but about our traffic problems. Now, I've commented before, not to you guys, but we've written letters, my husband and I, regarding the RV park, and I know a lot of the council members were uncomfortable personally with that decision. You've since made some amendments to who makes that decision. However, I am deeply concerned about Logan's Landing proposal. And that's why I'm here tonight. The planning commission, I guess, got canceled for this week.
Yes.
So,
So I'm sorry, I just need to clarify. You're not here about the detour. You're here about Logan's Landing
But the-
specifically, but it plays into the.
it plays into it because it's a traffic issue.
Okay, I
And
just
so,
wanted to get you listed in the right.
yeah. So my point beginning with that is that it's a traffic issue. It's a safety issue. I've had the pleasure of having the fire department up to my house once, and thank God no ambulance, but it's a safety issue. I think the biggest concern in many Woodlanders is traffic and how to get around. I have been here 6 years, but I grew up in Southwest Portland. My grandpa and I came up and fished on the Lewis River. My parents, we went to Mercer. We all went to the Oak Tree to have the cinnamon buns because that's what got the kids to go. So I know the area, and I know it has to grow, but the growth that we're experiencing between the apartments that are going to be going at the base of Green Mountain, I'm not sure what's happening with the RV park, but that's again, more cars, more traffic. The Scott Hill apartments or townhouses, I'm not sure. I never was clear which ones those were going to be. You know, you just can't get around anymore. And I think when I wrote this email or on the Woodland chat, I think it was, but anyway, I was a little nervous because you can get quite attacked on it. And I did get like 153 responses. So my husband printed most of them for me. That's not all of them, but aside from a couple of smart aleck remarks, it was the biggest concern of everyone in this town. You know, I'm not anti-growth. I know growth has to come, but it's a tornado that was coming up I-5 at us, and we kind of, in my opinion, got a little caught in the crosshairs, so to speak, with some of our laws that on the books that didn't quite, you know, gel with what's happening with the growth. So I'm just here to present this and to ask people to really think about this Logan's Landing. In my opinion, the problem is that there's another loophole between commercial and what they could put in to say, well, we've solved the commercial part and what is, you know, residential. And that's the problem I had with the RV park. My dad manufactured trailers and RVs, specifically Aloha trailers, if you all know that. Anyway, so I'm not against RVs, anything like that. I'm not against growth, but I went down to Walmart the other day after this last detour, which lasted for hours and hours, and I couldn't get to Walmart. It took me 7 minutes to get from Walmart back up to the base of Green Mountain. And I was shocked. And it was just basically everybody coming home. Now we're going to have apartments over there, apartments there, and Logan's Landing with 18% more of what is the total population of Woodland. I don't know how the streets, the ambulances, and the schools are. Yes, it's safety, but it's also the schools. Where are those kids going to go? Richfield's having the same problem. They've put up levies and bonds and stuff, and they keep being voted down. Now they're considering going to like full-time year-round school with 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. And anyway, so my concern is the traffic, and I'm concerned that there's another loophole with Logan's Landing. I think Ben should not bend the rules. So I just have one copy, and it's not everything, but I wanted to at least bring something and just.
Can we keep that?
Yes, that's for you guys.
I will send it for the record.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate you coming out tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Black.
Good evening. I come to talk about Planters Days, just less than a month away, and we are busy planning all of the festivities, the fireworks, the parade, the pet parade, kids parade, coronation, a few events, the royal reunion, and the buffet at the new Oak Tree. Then on Saturday, all the great stuff with the cars cruising in during the evening and music during the evening, and then the car show on Sunday. And I was excited to see that the work is underway on the gazebo.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
He's excited to see the work on the gazebo. Maybe you can give an update about that.
I don't really have an update
Okay,
except
we're
for
working on it.
concrete curing right now, and we have a permit and process for the gentleman to go out and look at the form.
Gotcha, thank you. Mr. Blaylock, I'm very, very concerned that we don't have gazebo yet, so, but Ms. Coleman has felt the pressure, and is doing her very best to make sure, or try to get it complete before Thursday night. Of Patrick
Thursday
Chase. Of Patrick Chase.
Yes.
By Thursday night.
So we're, this year, the carnival is not going to be like it has been before, but the community's coming together to get some stuff going so that we can do that. The fire department contracts with the vendors to do that, and out of 10 vendors, they were not able to find anybody that was able to staff their carnivals.
Gotcha.
So that's all I have for Planters Days for this time.
All right, thank you, Mr. Boyle. Appreciate the update. We're looking forward to it. I know Ms. Coleman has been, her and her team over at Public Works has been working hard to get the city ready for display for our 100th year. So we appreciate everyone's hard work on this one. So thank you. Anyone else for items not on the agenda? Now it's your opportunity to step forward. Seeing no one, moving on to items on the agenda. Katie Clark, is that right? Yes. Please step forward. I'll give you 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor Finn, council members. My name is Katie Clark from the Woodland Farmers Market. And if I may have a moment, I'd like to read a letter from Tina Eifert. She is the Southwest Washington Regional Liaison for the Farmers Market for State. She says, a proposal of a farmers market in the downtown Woodland core is an opportunity to support small growers in the county, seed entrepreneurs, and represent regional agriculture. Vendors are residents, your neighbors, and unlike large impersonal supermarket chains, the dollars they collect stay right here, reinvesting in local community. The chosen location between downtown and a popular recreation site serve as a magnet for both locals and tourists. Farmers markets attract families, provide an outlet and example for young children to learn about local food systems, meet the farmers that grow their food, and witness the modeling of consuming more fresh fruits and vegetables. The goal, once established, is for the market to apply for authorization to process benefits for the Washington Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP. SNAP, formerly known as food stamps, is designed to guarantee families and individuals obtain a basic level of nutrition by supplementing their budget specifically to purchase food. SNAP at farmers markets is a win-win for both farmers and customers, increasing sales for vendors and providing more nutrient-dense produce for recipients. Currently, all farmers markets in neighboring Clark County offer food access to vulnerable families through SNAP and WIC. I'd like to add at this point that the farmers market as it stands right now is in desperate need of financial assistance. All of our funds so far have been depleted for insurance. Everything at this point is coming out of my pocket. So I have been on bended knee begging for donations, and anything at all that the city can do to help towards that would be greatly appreciated. I really am trying to give it my all, but I'm running out of steam. So thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Oh, and yes, I'm asking for a waiver of future fees since we don't have any income right now. Thank you.
Which is on the agenda this evening, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Butler.
evening. I am addressing council tonight on consent item E. The Southwest Washington Equity Coalition is desiring to bring their voice to our community with a COVID vaccine clinic to be held at Horseshoe Lake Park on Saturday, June 11th. Tonight's agenda will have a vote for each of you whether to approve their permit or not. If you haven't taken time to become aware of the purpose of Southwest Washington Equity Coalition, you'll find it on their website. It states, The purpose is to advance racial justice in our communities. To become a member of this coalition, you must be committed to advancing racial justice. They consider racism to be a public health crisis, and to get leaders, such as yourself, to declare it is an important first step in the movement to advance their agenda. It's clearly the advancement of critical race theory. So if you as leaders would like Woodland to be a part of that voice, I would understand a yes vote tonight. If you're concerned, as many American citizens are, about the promotion of this agenda in our schools, workplaces, and now our city parks, then your no vote will also be understood. Our park is a lovely piece of our town, a place to play, swim, kayak, picnic, celebrate birthdays. We've honored police and firemen there. I'd like to see it stay that way. So I'll just say, if you're determined to bring this voice to our community, please consider, at the very least, the event be relocated. If I was a kid and I was told we're going to the park and I got a shot, I would not be happy. My greatest fear of going to the park as a kid was I was going to be dumped on the teeter-totter. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Butler. Anyone else for items on the agenda? Now is your opportunity to step forward. All right, seeing no one. All right, moving on to the agenda itself.
Move to approve the agenda.
Moved by Councilmember Chapman, second by Councilmember Rounds. Mrs. Anderson.
I'd like to make an addition to the agenda. For
Mr.
action
Burke.
item M, on the concerns of a vote that took place on 7 February.
So how would you like me to write that down? Council vote on, where was it?
February 7th, 7th minutes and stuff.
Okay. Okay.
So what is it? An action item?
An action item. Action item N at the end. I got this, Mr. Burke. Thank you. An action item N at the end of the agenda to discuss a council vote on February 7th. Sherry is still standing by for a second to the amendment. The addition of action item M has been motioned by Councilmember Burke and seconded by Councilmember Rounds. Mr. Randolph, is there discussion on this addition, or do we just go to?
Well, I've just received Councilmember's Burke.
I would like Mr. Randolph to answer on this.
I have just received it, but I haven't had a chance to research it yet.
I guess not the action item itself. I'm asking, do we have a discussion on the addition itself to the agenda, or do we just go straight to the vote to have it approved to the agenda?
I mean, this is where you come up with the agenda, so
Okay.
I think you have to have a vote on whether to put it on the agenda.
Okay. Mrs. Anderson, will you please take the roll on addition of action item M, February 7th council vote.
Councilmember Burke.
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds. Aye. Councilmember Dowdy. Aye. Councilmember Holland. Aye. Councilmember Chapman.
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. Moving back to the original motion by Councilmember Chapman and second by Councilmember Rounds for agenda approval. Mrs. Anderson.
Councilmember Dowdy. Aye. Councilmember Chapman.
Aye.
Councilmember Holland. Aye. Councilmember Burke.
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds. Aye.
Now, the agenda has been approved. Moving on to reports of City Council.
I went to the Love Street Playhouse on Friday night, very good play, had a very nice time. And then Saturday night, I had the privilege to go to the Chaplain fundraiser up in Longview. saw the chief up there. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but
He said that you snubbed him when you walked by him. And acknowledged
I didn't
that
even.
was him.
If you want to do such a high,
I didn't even.
Mr. Brown, and you walked right by.
Except I saw you when you stood up because you're on the board, but very, very nice event. And I think they did really well at their fundraiser.
I think so too, yeah.
Yeah, they do a great job. So,
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, moving on to finance and general government committee meeting, which is
Me.
you, Mrs. Collins.
Okay. So we met at, I think we officially started at 5:45 because I was running a little late and Councilmember Smith was absent. So Mrs. Anderson gives us a pretty comprehensive report on how taxpayer dollars are spent once they come in. Something that people might find interesting. We kind of did here in this kind of information. But for the month of February, sales tax of 225,000 increased by 14%, or by 28,000 when compared to last month in January 2022, when sales tax were 197,000 and also increased by 9%, or by 19,000 when compared to last February. Sounds like a bad word problem, but what I'm trying to tell you is that sales tax revenue is going up, which means the city gets more money. So, and a majority of the top 20 businesses, comprising 27% of the total and equating to almost 31,000 of our sales tax revenue that was collected for that month. Large department stores, as we could guess who that is. But overall, the sales tax revenue remains strong and the Woodland economy is growing. So it's kind of indicative of we're coming out of the pandemic. Retail sales revenue look good. So your economy is strong, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Our economy. Our. Good. Very good. Is that all you have this evening?
About all I can muster.
All positive. All positive. I
All
like
positive. It was, I mean, you don't really want to hear about each line item like Mr. Frederick.
it. No, we'll take the highlights. Thank you so much. All right, human resources.
Okay,
Oh, Ms. Chapman.
that'd be me because Councilman Rowland had a personal, they had to excuse himself tonight, so she could not make it, so I got out of seat. This morning, this evening, we met at 6 o'clock here in the council chambers. Rowland was absent, I was present. Councilor Dowdy was for her first time here for HR coming on. And then, of course, then our city administrator, Mr. Boyce, was here. We talked about the Oregon Teamsters Employers Trust Subscription Agreement, which is on the agenda tonight. And the council or the committee is recommending a do pass recommendation on that. We talked about the Oregon Teamsters Employment Trust Agreement for participating in non-Teamsters employment on that one. Basically go hand in hand with each one of the union and non-union members. And the committee has a do pass recommendation on that. That's an updating. We talked about updating on personnel. We had one clerk retire, and then that job was put up into within internally. Someone moved over into that position, so now we're hiring for the front counter. That one's slowly going in the front, and so all the people are hiring for that. Police department, we're down 2 open vacancies. They have 1 officer that's going through some of the background checks and all that kind of good stuff like that. And we still have 1 to fill. We are losing a clerk who's moving on to bigger and better things and stuff. So that's going to be a real interesting thing, how we got to fill that one and stuff. So it's going to be a little tight. So in the coming weeks and stuff, we'll be putting out, we'll be advertising, putting out Thanks. And then we adjourned at 6:23.
All right. Questions for Mr. Chapman?
Carly.
Carly.
Oh.
I look over and peek it. Okay, say,
Well, it sounds like she's moving on to bigger and better things.
yeah.
It's
I
exciting.
kind of heard where she's going to, but I don't want to.
I don't miss
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chapman. Mrs. Miller, Chamber of Commerce this evening. Thank you for being here.
Of course. All right, let's see how well I can read my tiny type tonight. Hello, everybody. Denise Millis, Chamber of Commerce. Nice to meet you. I need to add you to our e-blast. You can get all of our information every week. So first up, Visitor Center. Visitor counts are up since last month, as you will keep hearing me say until probably fall time when people start hiding from the rain again, even though it has been torrential downpouring. Road to Johnson Ridge. Last time I was here, I told you guys it was open, or at least it's been open in years. Well, depends on the weather currently if they're able to keep it open, because they are still getting snow, which is crazy. They are aiming to have the actual visitor center at Johnston Ridge, like the whole, like the movie and everything, staffed by early June. Usually they try around May 18th, the anniversary later this week. But due to honestly the snow, they cannot ask people to, you know, okay, do you have a four-wheel drive vehicle? Are you comfortable driving through snow drifts? So they let us know, and if it's earlier than that, they will call our visitor center and let us know if they open. Let's see here. Both the tulip fields and the lilac gardens are both closed. If you have not heard that yet, please do be on the lookout next spring to go visit both. It's always a great time. The lilac gardens also, for those you do not know, they do sell actual lilac plants during lilac days. So it's a great way to get some lilacs. The Lower Lewis River Fall Recreation Area. So last year they began the reservation thing, and you paid $2 essentially to get your time slot to go visit Lower Lewis Falls and a couple of the other areas. I know I went over it last year, but just real quick, the reason they did it wasn't essentially to collect money. I mean, it is only $2. All it is paying the credit card processing fee. It's trying to keep the number of people on that road parking illegally down, because people started parking over the fog line, and EMS vehicles and other things could not actually make it down the road. So it became a giant safety hazard, as well as the ridiculous amount of trash and other things left along the way. Now, since that went into effect last year, they saw how it worked and they did adjust it, and they did take people's comments. They actually have added more reservations. They've actually shortened the time, because I guess they understand that you don't need 4 hours to go see a site. So they've also added some shorter times. They've also lessened the area that you need the reservations. We got that map, so I will be sending it out with our e-blast to show. And unless you have last year's map to really compare it, it honestly kind of looks the same, but the signs have been moved. Ape Caves is also still requiring reservation. Same thing. The parking lot is only so large. People are parking on forest roads illegally, and it's just a huge headache. Planners Days. I know Keith already spoke on it. You can drop off any of your forms and payments for the Planners Days events at the visitor center, but it must be exact change or a check written to them. We cannot take card for them. It just does not work that way. Chamber. New members to mention, we have a whole bunch, but the newest ones in the last couple weeks is Brock's Bar and Grill, the Oak Tree, and Adeline Farms. Los Pepes just celebrated their 20th anniversary in their Woodland location. They have been, they're a family friend too, so of course I've heard all the backstories. But they have other locations all over the place. But for this particular location, it was their 20th anniversary. Many of you were able to make it and enjoy the mariachi band. Sometimes, you know, you're, oh God, mariachi band. Here we go. I need another margarita. But no, this one was great. So I don't have my assistant executive director with me this week, but they were doing the song, you know, you go, Olé! And so she, you know, being 3, they would play and they go, Olé! And she was 30 seconds later and go, hooray! So it was fun, had by all ages. It was a great time. So if you do make it in there, ask for the green salsa. But celebrate them, tell them thank you for being in our community for 20 years. Tomorrow's networking meeting is at a new location. We are going to go visit our new member, Brock's Bar and Grill.
That is at noon till 1. It is the non-RSVP event, so just show up, hang out with some members, chat with our new members, try some of their food. We have some members who are in need of employees, ideally 21 and over. So reach out to me if you guys have anybody who needs a job. They're also looking for 18 and over, but we do have some members who have been on the lookout for employees for a while, and preferably employees that will last longer than a week or two, because training somebody just to have them leave is a lot of lost time and money. The port held their open house last week on the Austin Point project. If you were unable to make it, they also have a digital version. The link was in last Friday's e-blast and will be again this week as well. You can click on it. You can kind of go through the thing. I know I saw JJ there, so that was good. So you can kind of click through. It's a little different, obviously, because you're not going to be walking around and seeing all the boards, but it's good information. And I believe there's also a comment form. Let's see. We are looking for a business member or a member of the community who would like to host an after hours. We're always trying to expand it to more than just our members, so they can see why they should become a member, and also so they can boast about how awesome their facilities are and what they do. Because coming from personal experience, when I used to work for a toilet paper place and we hosted one, there were so many people who didn't know toilet paper was converted in our own city here. So if you have a business you personally want to see, you can also reach out to me and let me know, and I'll see if I can poke them and see if they'd be interested in doing that. 2 weeks ago, we hosted Senator Braun, Representative Organ, Representative Barno. It was a great meeting. It was for our May meeting. It was nice to see some of our community members who have not been able to personally shake their hands, get to meet them. I know Mr. Rounds was there. Thank you for attending. So it was good to hear from them. And since it's out of legislative season, it was not a debate or anything like that. It was purely informative. The group was allowed to ask questions. They were able to answer to their, how would you say that, legality abilities, and it was good. And of course, they also passed out business cards and said if you needed to contact them further, you could contact their offices. And lastly, I guess Friday I want to say, golf tournament. It's Friday, August 19th. A lot of our sponsors are selling out. So if you want one, you need to jump on it soon. We are also looking for some awesome raffle prizes for the golfers to buy raffle tickets to put in the jars to get the prizes. And we're always looking for golfer bag swag. So that is your visitor center and chamber update.
Thank you very much. So
No
we were
problem.
talking golf tournament.
That you guys are both going to be there with your own teams?
To a round.
Yes.
Which means I just lost.
No. At least he knows.
Mr. Boyd knows how much golfer I am. I make it about 4. We make it about 4 rounds, and then we just get in the car and drive and watch.
You know, there's a reason why I prefer planning it, and I'll get my cart and I drive around and say hi to all of you, because it's a comedy show if I try to hit the golf ball.
You said 4 rounds?
Well, it's not 4 rounds, sorry, 4 holes. 4 holes.
Is that because of the beverage or what?
No, it's just because it's terrible. The chief tried to give me one year as well. So, I mean, there's always something.
A great time. He means it's a great time. The golf tournament is a great time.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
Any questions?
Thank you, Mrs. Miller. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Was that, Chief, was that a Rotary or was that the business chamber that you flung me out of the cart?
That was chamber.
That was chamber?
That was not this one year, but the year before, right? 3 years ago.
Still, my head still hurts.
He's just getting feelings back in his life.
Yeah, I just started to walk right again. All right, moving on to reports. In my report this evening, I also attended the Port Open House on Wednesday, saw a number of council members there, along with executive team, which was fantastic. The COG was also there talking about traffic and discussing matters with Ms. Coleman and getting up to speed on some grant dollars that were upcoming. So that was good. It was a good networking session, and also being able to see what the port was coming up with. I also saw Mrs. Muppet as well. So yes, I saw you there as well. No, not you. Okay. I'm sorry.
Trish.
Trish, that's right. Sorry. From school board. Mrs. Wilson, yes. Nice to see you. Moving on to, I also attended the Love Street play. I did have front row seats. I don't know how I managed that. It's the first time ever. I felt like I was in the show, which is, you missed out. You missed out. Miss Coleman was supposed to join me because we had some childcare issues, and then Miss Coleman called and said she was too tired because I worked too hard. So
I was working on grant applications
I know.
and just finished.
I know, I saw the email. Yeah. But Front Row, it was great. It was a great show. So I encourage anyone that hasn't seen it or has not attended Play at Love Street, they should go. It's very well done. Lou and Melinda do a wonderful job. We have a bunch of new faces running around town right now in our Public Works Department. And as Mr. Chapman brought up, we will have a new face up at the front of City Hall soon. I'm not sure when that individual is starting, but it's going to be soon. I think in the next couple of weeks. And just a reminder that construction season is coming upon us. So please stay engaged on social media so you know where we're moving around town from the city and where we're doing our projects and having some closures. Currently, right now, we've got a closure on Davidson, which should be done
At the end of this week, if not early next week, and then we move over to close West Scott again.
Yes, okay, for a short period of time.
Yes, just
But
get excited.
we understand that it is trying at times with the traffic out there with these closures, but understand that this is going to help us grow our city in a positive direction through industry by putting a water line and creating some pedestrian safety. I don't know what you call it, pedestrian safety access.
Across
Yes.
railroad.
There we go, crossing.
How long will this be closed next time?
Probably 3 weeks. But you know what? They're done.
But you know what, and a lot of this was done through grant dollars from the county or from other organizations for the safety and for the water lines. So we've got some great partners at the county to include Commissioner Mortensen, who has been very vocal in helping us out and getting some funding down this way. So we appreciate him very much. After hours for the city, we will be hosting on June 16th. We're partnering with the VFW. We'll be having our after hours at the VFW, and Anthony down at the corner store and his team are going to be supplying the food. So we've got 3 businesses, one of them will be the city, but the city is the host. So more times and things like that to come. That is the evening of the 16th, which is the kickoff of Planters Days. So we're hoping that you all come down and sharing some fellowship and learn what the city's doing, and then stay for some fireworks.
I didn't forget you. I just didn't want to say anything.
You reminded me to tell them, because I did bring that last.
I know, I was like,
Yes. All right. And I know. I know. She didn't want me on the spot. She did a phone call at 10 p.m. tonight. Like, you know. The Woodland real estate market is extremely hot right now. I would say that we have a lot of people for commercial. There's some residential that we're waiting for applications to come through, but we have a lot of phone calls coming in for commercial, and not just one location, but all over the place. So I'm thinking things are getting too expensive in other areas of Clark County, and we're the next logical spot. So
My work neighbor, their rent increase was $1,000.
oh,
So that's,
wow.
I mean,
That's a lot. That's a lot to the bottom line.
literally coming out of a pandemic where we all struggled to even stay a business, and their renewal came up before mine. So
We're about to have some beautiful space over by Safeway soon that Mr. Kirkland Construction has been putting together. And I think that's I don't know how many David, how many spots are over there in the Kirkland development? I think it's like, is it like 20,000 square feet of space?
It's somewhere up there. I would have to look at the specific plans.
But there's multiple doors, so you can.
Yeah, there's multiple sections.
Send them our way. Or move your business on. I understand that it's probably busier down that way though. I get that. So, and with our program that we're putting into place, which to give credits for traffic impact fees to commercial and industrial businesses. I think I'm hoping that is a catalyst as well to get more jobs up this way and to increase more commerce and retail sales. So since we rely on that so much. Moving on to the addition of action item M this evening for discussion, since I can't discuss with you over there. I would encourage council to not entertain this and say no. I've noticed that there was a summary that was given up to council, but I didn't receive one. So thank you, Mr. Chapman for passing this to me.
Right here.
Oh, well, I didn't get one on my desk, so. I disagree with Mr. Burke's analysis, and there was an opportunity to change those minutes at the following meeting, in the second meeting in February. So I believe that it is a little too late for that, so. I'm sorry, Mr. Burke, I thought this was my report right now. You'll have your opportunity when you get to that action item. Thank you. And moving on to consent items.
I'd like to pull consent item C for discussion.
Motion by Mr. Burke to approve the consent items with the exception of consent item C, and seconded by Council Member Dowdy. Mrs. Anderson.
Well, can I also ask for B?
Yes.
I'm glad you did, because I was going to. So,
Motion to pull consent item E?
So motion on the floor to approve consent items A, B, D, F, and G by Mr. Burke and seconded by Council Member Dowdy. Mrs. Anderson.
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds? Aye. Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
Councilmember Dowdy? Aye. Councilmember Burke?
All right, consent items A, B, D, F, and G have been approved. Moving on to consent item C, approve special event permit and partial fee waiver for CCFR barbecue.
On consent item E, I think they want to charge them $75 now, which next year will be.
C.
I mean, C, excuse me, C. $75. And I think it should be completely waived. It's a city event. Basically. And they've been exempt before. They got their money back. I think should be no charge to them.
The chair recognizes there's no motion on the floor, but discussion is occurring.
Oh,
Gotta make a motion.
okay. Make a motion to disapprove.
Would it be a?
Make a motion, make a motion to.
Second.
Please clarify your motion, Mr. Burke.
What's that?
Please clarify your motion.
I make a motion to approve consent item C after discussion.
You want a motion to amend?
I thought we had just pulled C and D.
Yeah, so we can talk about
So,
it.
yeah, C and E. I thought, and so the others have been approved, and now we're discussing
It's
C.
similar to an action item, only it's on the consent agenda. So just a second,
Okay.
and then you can make an amendment to the motion. Mrs. Dowdy, did you agree to second on that for approval?
Second, sure.
Motion on the floor for approval with discussion of consent item C by Mr. Burke, seconded by Councilmember Dowdy. Councilmember Burke.
I think the fee should be waived like it was before. Basically, they got their money before, got it back. And they just put it down for hold. Now they want to keep that $75, what I read. And it should be, it's a citywide event. And the idea is to get the nonprofits to make money to help support things in the city.
Councilmember Dowdy.
Well, I guess I feel like it needs to be amended to take the $75 off instead of motion to approve it as is.
Are you making a motion to amend the original?
So I would motion to amend the original motion with removing the $75 non-refundable fee, making it all refundable.
I'll second.
Motion on the floor to remove the $75 fee on consent item C by Councilmember Dowdy, seconded by Councilmember Burke. Councilmember Dowdy.
Aye.
Are we voting or are we still
We're
discussing?
still discussing now the amendment now.
I agree that I think the fire department should not, when they're doing a community-wide event, should not have a fee is charged.
Councilmember Burke.
I agree.
Councilmember Rounds.
Well, It was supposed to be more than the $75. Am I correct? What was the total?
Mr. Burke, please allow Ms. Brown to ask the question of
What was the amount supposed to be?
the Public Works Director.
$500. The 75 is an application fee, but
Right.
the permit use fee is $500.
And we're waiving the $500 because of that community event.
And there's a $300 damage deposit that is refundable.
Right. So, it takes our employees at the city time to process those permits. I think $75 is very reasonable to charge. It's not an enormous amount. And we are waiving a big portion of that, so I don't have a problem with $75.
Further discussion on the amendment. Councilmember Holland.
Didn't we just, I just have a question, maybe somebody can remind me, didn't we just change it to this, the fee structure? Wasn't, put my glasses on so I can see who I'm talking about. So did we not just change that because the fee structure?
No, so the previous fee structure back in the day was to waive the fees for farmers markets, the Planters Day, the fire, so on and so forth. But then the fee was changed, I think, 2 years ago. And so there has been a fee of the $75 application fee, $500 usage fee, and then there's always been the $300 deposit. So really what's changed is from, it used to be less to rent the park, but now it's $500. But so what we're doing is we're going to change it back. So that's why we have all of these packets coming forward asking to waive the fee, because there is now a fee of $500, but we still kept the application fee for a number of different reasons. Majority is because of the staff time it takes to process the applications. It goes through each department for review, so it takes all the department heads time to review. And also garbage is collected at the park that we don't charge for, so dumping fee. We also clean facilities when they use the facilities before and after. So that was part of the 75 fee, which does not even cover those costs. So that's why we've left an application fee on everything, but waived the event fee is what the request was. So I just wanted to clarify, you guys can choose whichever way you want to vote, but that's what it was for. Did that clarify your question?
It did, but, and in this particular instance, they rent the red building, right?
Correct.
And to go and remove the plywood.
So that's separate. So they rent the red building. We go and clean the red building ahead of time. We open it up for them. We also have staff on time that takes the barbecue pit plate. It's a metal plate that's in the park. They dig it up with our backhoe. We take the plate out. We also help them put it back over so the pig cooks overnight and then we remove it the next day. So $75 does not cover any of that. It doesn't even cover 1 hour worth of piece of equipment and the labor cost.
Gotcha. So, so clarification, the rental of the red building is part of this $500 that we're waiving?
Correct.
Okay, and so we just approved the farmer's market, and we are.
Did we just approve that?
I was. Approved the farmer's market,
Okay.
correct, okay.
Yes.
Just approved the farmer's market, so they are also waiving the 500, but they're still responsible for the 75?
That's correct.
Okay.
So everybody that has come forward because of that fee schedule that was changed a few years back, we've asked for the rental fees to be waived, but the application fee is still there for $75, which we believe is minimal. But you can waive that if you guys choose to. That's your guys' choice. And then the deposit is fully refundable as it always has been.
And possibly motion to take away.
That's fine. If you can still vote on it.
Okay.
But we're still going to be voting on that.
Okay.
Any further discussion on the amendment to remove the $75 fee? All right, Ms. Everything, please.
Sorry, what?
You're voting whether or not right now to remove the $75 fee. Yes or no?
Okay, gotcha.
Disappeared. Councilmember Burke?
Yes.
Councilmember Rounds?
No.
All right. I have to write this. Councilmember Chapman?
No.
Councilmember Holland?
No.
Councilmember Dowdy?
No.
The noes have it 4-1. Moving back to the original motion on the floor by Councilmember Burke and seconded by Councilmember Dowdy to approve consent item C. Councilmember Burke.
No,
It's still discussion. We're not voting yet.
no comment. Oh, no comment.
Councilmember Dowdy.
No comment.
Further discussion
We're going to be voting this,
to approve consent item C.
which is to waive the 500.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Mrs. Anderson, you please take the roll on consent item C.
Councilmember Holland,
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman,
Aye.
Councilmember Dowdy.
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke.
The ayes have it, 4-1. Moving on to consent item E, approve special event permit for Southwest Washington Equality, or is it Equity Coalition for COVID vaccination clinic.
Special. You have to.
Motion on the floor.
Motion to not approve.
Second.
Motion on the floor to not approve consent item E by Councilmember Dowdy, second by Councilmember Chapman. Councilmember Dowdy.
I just don't feel that is the best event to hold in our park.
Councilmember Chapman.
I concur.
Further discussion, Mrs. Rounds.
I agree totally.
Mrs. Sullivan.
Is this not the same group that just had one at the high school?
It is. It was not very well attended.
Please reserve your comments. I can't answer that, but I'm gonna say yes, it is.
So, just to impart some information, because I don't know anything about this organization. The folks, the different agencies that participated at the one at the high school are different agencies throughout the Tawas County area that provide a multitude of different services for low-income individuals and kids. So when I wear a different hat, I am very familiar with the work that they do. And some of these events, if you can get beyond the fact that they're offering vaccinations to people who don't have a way to get out of this town to get them or drive to them or whatever, they were also offering different information from health insurance organizations. So for folks who can't afford health insurance through their employer and they go through the state marketplace, you're only allowed a couple options to get insurance. And so those agencies, those insurance companies will send people to different events. They've come to a laundry love event that I felt just to help people better understand the insurance plan and how to navigate a state website of how to get insurance. If anybody's ever done it, it's incredibly frustrating. So I just want to throw that out there that I don't know who Southwest Washington Equity Coalition is, but me personally, I don't see a health event being held in the park as detrimental to anybody. I mean,
Mr. Burke, Mrs. Hall has the floor.
I've literally seen people get baptized. I've seen family barbecues. I've seen people who are considered domestic terrorists get to hold events in the park. People having petition drives in our park. So there's a lot of different things, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here. That there's all kinds of different things that happen in our park. I've seen punk shows in our park, and most people up here probably wouldn't dig that at all. But so So I just wanted to throw that out there that it may just be whatever this organization might be. They could all be Satanists for all I know. But outside of that, it's a COVID-related event where people can get vaccinated. I just want to point out that the other agencies that partner with provide their services. So.
Further, Mrs. Downey.
Well, I do see on their actual thing, it says that one of the main components of this event is strictly the COVID-19 vaccine and for the underserved and vaccine hesitant. And I guess my response to that is they can get free vaccines at Walmart and at Safeway. So it's not even an issue with leaving town. And Walmart, when all of these vaccines were going around, they would walk around and say, hey, do you want a vaccine? So I feel like that component, even for vaccine hesitant, has been addressed in our community several times over. And they've had things at the high school and other places in our community that we're further along than needing emergency vaccines at this point. That there's still access to free ones. That I don't think the park is the right place to be giving shots. And even if it's done the right way, I just don't think that that's the right place for it.
There's been different groups like this that wanted to hold similar informational things and vaccination clinics at the food bank. I chose, because I'm in charge, I chose not to do that because it just had chaos to food distribution on a Saturday. But, I mean, again, I'm playing devil's advocate here, just so that there's a different perspective, whatever reason we don't like. So.
Anything further? Mr. Chapman?
The motion on the board is deny it. Okay. Yes vote will deny it.
Right.
Everybody sure they
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We had this double-edged thing.
Mrs. Anderson, please take the vote on consent item E to not approve the special event permit for Southwest Washington Equity Coalition for COVID vaccination clinic.
Councilmember Rounds,
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman,
Yes.
Councilmember Holland,
Aye.
Councilmember Dowdy, Councilmember Burke.
All right, the motion has passed with a non-approval. Moving on to action items. Action item H, authorize mayor to sign agreement with the Oregon Employers Trust for participation of non-Teamster bargaining unit employees' health insurance.
Move to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Burke, second by Councilmember Chapman. Councilmember Burke.
Be done.
Councilmember Chapman.
They just came through HR and it was due fast.
Further discussion? Seeing none, Mrs. Anderson, please take the roll on action item H, authorizing the mayor to sign agreement with the Oregon Employers Trust for participation of non-Teamster bargaining unit employees' health insurance.
Councilmember Holland,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Dowdy, Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman.
Aye.
The motion is passed. Moving on to action item I, authorize mayor to sign a subscription agreement with the Oregon Employers Trust for health insurance.
I make a motion to approve action item I, authorize mayor to sign a subscription agreement with Oregon Employees Trust.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Rounds, second by Councilmember Dowdy. Councilmember Rounds.
This needs to be done.
Councilmember Dowdy.
It went through HR.
Further discussion? Mrs. Anderson, please take the roll on action item I.
Councilmember Holland,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Dowdy, Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman.
Aye.
The motion is passed. Moving on to action item J, authorize mayor to sign agreement with Molecular Inc. for curb painting project.
Make a motion to approve action item J, authorize mayor to sign agreement with Molecular Inc. for the curb painting project.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Rounds, second by Councilmember Chapman. Councilmember Rounds.
Well, the curbs do need to be painted, so we need to do it.
Councilmember Chapman.
Well, yeah, we're out to pressure washing, so it's good, nice good fan now, so I think we better get on it well. Still clean.
Further discussion? Seeing none, Mrs. Anderson, please take roll on action item J.
Councilmember Dowdy. Aye. Councilmember Rounds. Aye. Councilmember Chapman.
Aye.
Councilmember Holland.
Aye.
Councilmember Burke.
Motion is passed. Moving on to action item K, authorize mayor to sign Pump Tech LLC for the water treatment plant transfer pump number 1 repair project.
Make a motion to approve action item K, authorize mayor to sign Pump Tech LLC for the water treatment plant transfer plant pump number 1 private repair project.
Somebody.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Rounds, second by Councilmember Chapman. Rounds.
We need to have it then, so we just need to do it.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yeah, I agree. We got to keep water flowing. It's got to be done, so we keep.
Further discussion? Seeing none, Mrs. Anderson, please take the roll on action item K.
Councilmember Holland.
Aye.
Councilmember Burke.
Aye.
Councilmember Dowdy. Councilmember Rounds. Aye. Councilmember Chapman.
Aye.
Motion is passed. Moving on to action item L, authorize mayor to sign service agreement with Diligent Corporation for upgraded video streaming component.
Motion to accept action L, authorize mayor to sign service agreement with Diligent Corporation for upgraded video streaming.
Moved by Councilmember Dowdy, second by Councilmember Rounds. Councilmember Dowdy.
I think we need to have it done. It's the upgrade.
Councilmember Rounds.
Well, if I'm understanding this correct, it's with our streaming when if, go ahead.
Right, so it's with our iCompass software package. They are no longer supporting the current version we have right now. There is no increase in price. The price is the same. And it's to go into effect right away. As you probably noticed, we have issues with it from time to time. I think even this evening. So we really need to make this upgrade.
Further discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Anderson, please take roll on action item L, authorize mayor to sign service agreement with Diligent Corporation for upgraded video streaming components.
Councilmember Holland. Aye. Councilmember Burke.
Aye.
Councilmember Dowdy. Aye. Councilmember Rounds. Aye. Councilmember Chapman.
Aye.
Motion is passed. Moving on to action item N, discussion of council vote on February 7th to include minutes.
Move to approve.
Here we come to the end of our meeting.
Make a motion to end the meeting.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Round, second by Councilmember Chapman. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The ayes have it. The time is now 8:13. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. I just can't believe what attention that you've given to this board. I don't have a problem with it.
This conference will now be recorded.
Meeting's over. Thank you.